Hey,
Hey,
Hey.
hey.
fell backwards. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our Sunday night offering of Astronomy Edutainment, the Sunday Night Astronomy Show. Yay! You know, in 1 month's time, we'll be starting year 7.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
November the 19th of
Seven,
2019.
7 years we've been doing this?
Unreal, isn't it?
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Well, 6, we start number 7, but it feels like
Yeah.
7, yeah.
Even though that's a
Feels
long
like
time.
it is.
Well, you're a whole year old before you're one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true enough.
Okay, I'd like to first welcome back my two regular co-hosts, Mr. Paul Owen from the Moonshadow Observatory in beautiful Hampton, and Mr. Mike Powell
Hello.
from the PFO Observatory in St. John.
Yes.
And myself, I'm Chris Kerwin with Astronomy by the Bay, located here in St. John as well. Okay. All right, on tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Astronomy Show, now, capturing night sky moments can be frustrating, but there are easier methods to get good results. If you are looking to automate your deep sky astrophotography, for instance, you can check out tonight's discussion. Paul will be talking a little bit about the ASI Air, a Wi-Fi controller that can do it all, from controlling your equatorial mount to running a complete imaging sequence. Paul's also going to discuss some of the ideas that we have of getting captures a little bit easier today than it used to be. Also tonight, Binocular Target of the Week will be back. Oh, come on. I got to say it. Bino Bud. Who's Okay, who's in favor of Bino Bud? Let me know. Like Mike's
Here's,
just calling
no,
it Binocular Target of the Week now, not Bino Bud.
here's how you change it. You say, from our bino bud.
Okay,
Not going to target me from our bino bud.
okay.
And foul.
All right.
There.
I'll go with that. Okay.
That.
Anyway, he's back with his fine Binocular Target of the Week. Paul's going to introduce another interesting Rosanna's fun fact for us. I'll offer a quick look at what's up this week. Of course, the new moon coming and the Orionid meteor shower, the poor views of comets. Anyway, we'll get into that a little bit and look at your wonderful photo submissions too. So sit back and enjoy, everybody. Remember, this is a family-friendly, live, interactive show. So pop up your questions. I'll be watching for them. And take it away, Paul.
All right. Well, so the art or the frustration or the learning of astrophotography over the last, I don't know, 10 years has changed an awful lot. Now, when I got started into it back in 2011, I think it is, 2012, something like that. Started out with a DSLR, stuck it in the back of a camera, or a telescope rather, and hoped I'd get something. And sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. And then over the course of years, you go through that whole learning curve on how to build a great big rig, how to put it all together, how to calibrate each optic and the mount to the optics, and then the optics and the mount to the electronics. And it took a long time to figure all that stuff out. And to be honest, a lot of money, because when you first get into any hobby, you always think I got to buy the biggest and the best because I'm going to have the best pictures possible. And then you soon learn that that is not the case. And if you're fortunate, like I was, and I had a chance to talk to a friend up at KW Telescope, I said to him after I had the telescope, matter of fact, the telescope I got from Mike.
Hold on, Paul, just for a second. I'm gonna get you up on Spotlight here, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Should have been a larger screen. Hang on, I just killed
Okay.
my
Well,
audience for a
while
second.
doing that, I'm going to keep talking.
Okay.
So anyway, so I got that little 150 millimeter reflector, and then I called KW and said, I need this great big mount. He said, well, what are you going to do with it? And I said, well, I want to take pictures. He said, well, what kind of telescope do you have? And I told him, I said, you don't want that. But most of us have this thing that when we have it in the head, we want to do something, we just go out and do it. And we think we need sometimes, and in most cases, more than we really do need. So that kind of leads us to our talk tonight about, this astrophotography game, and to what point is it too much, and what point is it not enough? And really, that comes down to you as an astrophotographer. because what I've learned over the last, I did say even 5 years, when I got really deep into it, was the deeper you dive in, the less satisfied you are. And I found that out, and I actually ran into a brick wall, and I lost my mojo for astro for probably a little better than a year. In fact, there was things living in my observatory because I wasn't in there. So then I thought, okay, I want to kind of resurrect my passion for this once more, or at least try to. So I discovered, or actually before that happened, I have had all of these rigs, and I've got, of course, the observatory in the backyard and all of that kind of stuff. And then but I kept buying these smaller telescopes because I wanted to do wide field astro, which is what Mike was been doing for years and years and years. And in fact, most of his eyepieces are wide field. And so I thought I'm going to try that because I think that might be kind of fun. Take something, plunk it on the ground to see what I can do. So I did. I bought this little rig that you see behind me, this little 61 millimeter telescope. And I bought myself my first and only ASI Air computer to run this, because I figured, okay, everybody's at this point in time, they had already been around for probably a year or two. This is the ASI Air Plus. Now there's the ASI Air Plus 265. So there's actually there's a fourth generation of this now. But anyway, when I got it, I took it out in the backyard, and I had already been to the point of, I was just getting frustrated with everything because of all the cloud we had for that whole year, about a year and a half ago. I couldn't finish the target because I was shooting a mono camera with all the separate filters. So I couldn't get a nice image if I wanted to. And I couldn't even do it over a week because the clouds kept coming in. And I just kept getting more and more frustrated that I couldn't take a picture. So I just said, okay, I'm just going to get a small rig and just go out there use a one-shot color camera and go out there and take some pictures. Well, then I bought the ASI Air. I tried to hook it up in the backyard. Then I ran into some trouble with my field flattener. I couldn't get the right spacing, and I didn't know how to operate the ASI Air. I thought it was complicated. So I just said, frig it. And that's what I did. I just put it all away, and then I immersed myself in going out and taking pictures of birds and stuff. So anyway, so that was my journey. But my journey led me to this ASI Air. And then in the last few weeks, I've actually taken it out and I said, it can't be that hard. Everybody on the planet is using this thing, so it can't be that hard to use. And to me, what was the hard part was the actual interface, which isn't hard once you understand it. But if you don't understand it, there's so many layers that you have to actually go through to operate it. And when you're doing it on your little cell phone this big, it's like, oh my good golly, I got big fingers. And anyway, I just got fed up with it. So when I got out there this time, I said, okay, I'm going to learn and do what this thing's supposed to do. I'm just going to do a workflow and follow the bouncing ball. Well, sure enough, it worked out well, and now I'm actually kind of liking this thing. So I've been actually taking some images with it, and I think I've got the flattener came down. And so I want to talk a little bit about what this is. Now, there's a lot of viewers out there now who are imagers and who have been using this for a long time. So if I miss something on this, or if I say what I think is happening and it's not correct, please straighten me out on it. But I think for the most part, I think I got it down pretty good. Now, what made this a little bit easier to use after I got myself calmed down was that everything that's in there is everything I've already learned before that I had to do manually. But now with this really simplifies stuff in so many ways, and that's what I want to talk about tonight. So I'm just going to show you the rig first, and then I'll show you some stuff online about it. So this is my little astro rig. So this is a 61 millimeter telescope. So the telescope and the flattener basically goes from there to there. So it's a quite small rig. And then I've got a ZWO camera on the back, a little MC 294 MC Pro. So it's a one-shot color camera with a 4/3 sensor, a 4/3 size sensor in it. And it's cooled. So again, it'll give me pretty clear pictures, clean pictures. Then I run a ZWO 120 millimeter mono guide camera. And on the other side that you can't see just yet, I'll flip it around. I also have the ZWO EAF, which is the electronic assisted focuser. So it's an electronic focuser is what it is. And all of that sits on top of this EQ5 Skywatcher German equatorial mount. Every bit of it is run by that little tiny box right in here. Now let me see if I can tilt that down and show you that that looks like a little bit. Well, it's actually in a rig. You'll probably, if you have one, you may have yours set up a little different, but there's where mine sits right there. You know, you see that angle okay? I don't know if is my screen big? I can't tell here. I'm seeing a small screen.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's the device there. So it's just about the same size as a small cigarette package. That's about how big it is. And what it does, of course, is it supplies power to a lot of the things that need power. It also takes in the signals and the captures from your cameras, both cameras, from the ZWO camera and from the other camera. And at the same time, it takes all of the data and kind of lets you control how it works. So if I want to do a plan for a night, if I want to shoot, I don't know, maybe I want to take 50 or 60 pictures of the article itself, the target, and then I want to shoot my darks, my flats, and my biases, which are the calibration frames that you need to have a good clean picture. I can program it all in there, and it does it all from there. The other thing that it does that is really, really cool is it's got its own built-in guiding. So unlike the outboard rigs that we have that we have to use, and we download separate software for it, this has got all that software built in. And to be honest, it works as well for me for guiding as my observatory guiding does. And I hardly had to tweak it at all. So it really knows, even based on the setup that it uses, like the default settings, that it's really quite good. I mean, you have to change it certainly, but there's not as much to change, and it's very easy to make the changes. Also, I can focus with it. I can polar align with it. It's got a built-in polar aligning system. So when I put my mount on the ground, I can go ahead and do it manually if I want. But if I want to get really accurate, it's got a built-in polar aligning system, so it does all that. So everything typically that you would need to do, in a run of a night, this little thing will do for you. And because it's all contained in one little box, I don't have a gazillion wires. Now I'm going to show you one of my rigs, just to give you an idea what the difference is. I'm going to just figure out how to share my screen here. No, there it is. And I'll share a window. And tell me if you see this, Chris.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so when you look at that, and this is just for a planetary. If I go deep sky, I'd have to put a few more things on this. But if you look at this, there's a great big computer sitting on the outside, as opposed to my cell phone or tablet. It has to be all plugged in to the rig. So that means that I've got wires going from that to the rig, whereas the ASI Air, if I'm using a tablet or my phone, it's totally wireless. So there's a bonus. I don't have this big computer I got to drag with me. So there's a bonus. And a table for it to sit on and power to run it. So there's a bonus. And then when you look at the rig here itself, then you've got a hand controller that's on the rig. If I wanted to use the hand controller, I'd have to use that. If I didn't want to use it, I'd have to have a cable rigged up to it so that it would eventually end up back in that computer. Then the mount itself has to be run into the computer, the focuser, and the little planetary camera you see there, that white wire going down and that black wire, all of that has to be routed back into the computer. And then this is not a guide scope on top, but if it was, then there'd be another camera yet again, and not to mention the rig. So that's an awful big rig to set up and go ahead and try to get something. If in 20 minutes after you got to set up, the clouds come rolling in, then you got to tear it all down. Not fun. But with a small rig like I've got here, the ASI Air, and all of the smaller scope and the smaller mount, I can just pick it all up and just carry it in the house and plunk it down. And you don't have to take anything off it, which is nice. Now, I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment. I'm back. so that's kind of some of the benefits from it. Now, I actually made some notes based on some things that you can do if you decide you want to get into. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. Like, there's one thing I want to show. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. There. I'll bring it up on the screen. I'm going to share my screen one more time. Sorry. Share screen. Okay. So there's the unit itself. That is the ASI Air. This one is now called the ASI Air Plus 256G. So that means now there's actually 256 gig of memory built right into it. That's a huge, huge thing, because the iteration that I have, it had only 32 meg or 32 gig built into it, and you can put a separate card slot if you want to add more. But this one gives you plenty. 256 is tons for any kind of astro that you're going to be doing. So so what you get with it is the unit itself. And when you look at it, on this side, there's the 4 power ports. So you can power up to 4 different items. On this side, there are 4 USB, 2 USB 3, 2 USB 2, so that you can operate and transfer at very fast rates with USB 3 the data from your guider and from your camera. And then let me see, where's the other one? And on this side, it just shows you a little PC port using a USB-C 3 mini. And so that you can transfer the data from that into your computer if you want to do that. A lot of people do that. And also on the back end, this is where you basically turn it off and on, and that's where the power gets plugged in. And there's an antenna that goes onto it. And that part right there is where the antenna is on it. So when the antenna is on, it looks just like that. So that's kind of what it looks like. Now, when you think of all the stuff that you would have to buy to run an observatory, which I've done, it's a lot. It can add up a lot. But when you look at this, $416 Canadian. I mean, that's such a great value for something that packs all that convenience and all that power. And even though I'm using mine on a small rig, you can use it on larger rigs. I know a lot of guys that are watching the show tonight use it on very large rigs. Winston's been using his for a while. Joey's got a nice size rig down his way. Joey Craswell. Robert, I think I don't think Robert has an ASI. I think he's just got the C-Star. But anyway, there's a few people out there that are using them. And they work really good for any size rig that you want. I just happen to I want to build a smaller one. But now, after I've showed you that, now I'll get back to what I wanted to show you, or want to finish with rather. Stop sharing. There we go. So I put together just a little compilation of what you can do if you want to get into astrophotography, and maybe you don't want to spend something to the nature of this amount of money. If you've already got a cell phone. Now, Chris does an amazing job on his Milky Way shots, constellation shots, aurora shots. He just takes his cell phone, puts it on a stand and on a tripod, and he takes some absolutely wonderful photos. So if you've already got a cell phone and you don't have the adapter, less than $100, tripod, less than $100, and then you're up and you're running, and you can take absolutely wonderful astro photos. The second way to go about it is, if you already have a DSLR and you've already got a lens that you want to use to take some photos with, because the nice thing about using a DSLR, you can change the lenses. So depending on the target that you want to get, you can go super wide or you can go super long, whatever you want to do. So if you already have one of these, the only thing you need is a good solid tripod. Put it on a tripod and you can take some nice static pictures, Milky Way, star trails, even comets, because you see a lot of people with comets. The comet's nice and sharp, but the stars are trailing is because they're probably not tracking when they're taking the photo. So again, if you've already got one of these, a couple of $100 and you're up and going, you can start taking some wonderful astro photos. Now, the nice thing about a camera is it's kind of like the ASI Air in a way, because first of all, you don't need an outboard computer. Camera's already going to do that for you. If you want to take and set up a run of images, most cameras have an intervalometer built in, which you can use now from your phone, because they're all wireless, so you can do that. So that's available to you to do, and it's really simple, and you don't need a lot of extra anything. The only thing I'd recommend would be a dew heater, and that would be it for that rig. And then finally, for those who want to take just one little step ahead, is this is what I'm going to be using to get the comet. This is the star tracker, and star tracker just sits on a regular tripod, solid one, but a regular tripod. It comes with a wedge so that you can angle it and get your polar alignment. Comes with the tracking device itself. Tracks only in right ascension. It's because it's all you need to track to really, if you got a good polar alignment. And then it comes with this, you can either get it with or without this counterweight and bar. This would be the Astro version of this. You can buy this without it. You can still get these for right around $500. I got mine years ago. This is probably the original star tracker, and it still works as good as anything I've seen out there in any way. So you just do that. You put your camera up on top of it. You go ahead and do your polar alignment, so your mount's pointed the right way. Just loosen off this. Find your target. So this is your right ascension. This will be your declination. Get that pointed right at your target. Once you get it all pointed, just simply lock it in, and then go ahead and then use your remote and set up your focus, and then start taking photos. That's probably one of the nicest way to go to get photos for a very good reason. You can use the star tracker. What happens is, if I was not on a tracker, I could only take maybe 15 to 20-second photos before my stars start trailing. If I go on a star tracker, I can go, in this case, if it's set up really good, I can go up to 2 minutes and not get any star trails. So the difference to you is this. If you have a camera with a SD card in it, every picture you take takes memory. It doesn't matter what's on the picture or how long the exposure, it takes the same amount of space. But if I had just used my camera on a tripod without the tracker, and I can only get 15 seconds, then I would have to take, to get the same equivalent for a 2-minute exposure on the tracker, I would have to take 8 frames to get the same amount of time on a just a camera without a tracker. So you're going to start piling up all of this data, and you're going to fill your card more than you should have to. If you had a tracker, you would only have to take 1 2-minute image as opposed to 8 15-second images or that sort of thing. So just that's another big advantage of having a star tracker. So the star tracker would be something that we'd use just before you jump in to a small rig or that ASI Air. And not to say that you can't go out and buy one of those smart telescopes. You can do that if you want. So it's really a matter of what level that you are, how you want to get your feet wet in the water of astrophotography, and just to know that there's a lot of different choices out there. Camera on a tripod, camera on a tracker, rig with an ASI Air, a total rig for the observatory, or just something as like a smart telescope. So that's about it. I don't want to belabor it. I just want to cover that and talk about sometimes you can get frustrated with astrophotography, and when you do, there are options that you can wean yourself back in. So yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. Hang on, Paul. Just a second. We're going to get us back to your normal screen here.
Yeah.
Let's get it tiled. Here, go back. Oop. There, yeah. Good stuff. Great talk.
Yeah.
Lots of great ideas there. And again, you don't have to spend a whole lot to get into it.
No. No, you don't.
Okay, I am struggling a little bit with Facebook tonight for some reason. No surprise. But if anybody has any difficulty with Facebook, just jump over to YouTube. We are on YouTube. I'm seeing the solid stream heading out on YouTube. So if you see it choppy or anything on Facebook, just jump over to YouTube. We're live there as well.
I've been watching on Facebook so far, and it looks good from this side.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not able to respond to your comments on Facebook on my side. I've tried, but anyway, that's a glitch again. Not that we ever have any glitches.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh.
I don't
So,
think
Paul,
see it.
so what are you going to use to catch the comet with, Paul?
I'm sorry?
What are you going to use to catch the comet with?
I was out the other night actually, and I used, I have a little Red Cat 51, and I put that on my tracker, and I took it out, and then I was just doing some test shots in the clouds, of course. So I was looking for sucker holes to see how big this thing would be in my field of view, and it's going to be a little tiny in that scope, so I may end up taking this one out to get it. But you need a certain amount of focal length
Yeah.
to be able to pull that off. But
Yeah, I was shooting with 400 millimeters last night. It is tiny.
It is
Yeah.
tiny. Yeah.
yeah,
Not very
definitely.
bright. Not very bright. I know they're saying Mag 4, but I don't know. But we were in a fairly bright spot, Mike, down by the ferry landing there too, right? So,
Oh,
Mhm.
I mean, your eyes didn't get a chance to dark it out. That would be the one thing I'd say. But
Yeah. Yeah.
we should have been able to pick it out a little easier, naked eye. I thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, hopefully it will be this week. I guess we're clouded in, I think, all week for us. But
Well, when we're done tonight, I'm gonna. If it was clear before when I came in.
I think it sets about 9:30, doesn't it?
yeah,
Like it's not up in the sky long.
No, but if I can get out even for 20 minutes, because
Yeah.
I think I have a view right to the horizon from my driveway,
Hmm.
right where it is.
Well,
So,
would be cool to catch it right there, just above the trees, kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm crossing my fingers for. So
awesome. Thanks, Paul, for all that work into that talk. And we're going to go on to binocular target of the week next, I guess.
Target of the week next. That means I got to present. This time, this is present. Now I want to make sure I get it right this time. This one and this one, and hopefully we get it right.
Here
We
go.
should have the binocular target of the week this week by the fat guy that drinks coffee is Comet C325A6, the lemon.
Yay.
There's kind of more to that lemon thing, I think, than we were saying earlier, because it's not as bright as we were hoping anyway.
yeah,
That being said, 2025A6 Lemon is a non-periodic comet discovered by Mount Lemmon Survey in images obtained on January 3rd, 2025. It makes its closest approach, and it's coming to the Earth on the 21st of October, 2025, and may be visible to the naked eye. 42 degrees from the sun after sunset. As of October 12th, 2025, the comet was an apparent magnitude 5.6, is what they were saying. Maybe the highest visible in the southern hemisphere, but I don't think it was here. Anyway, it was visible at about 15 degrees below the cup of the Big Dipper. Now it's moved since then, so it's moving fast across the sky. How do I find it across the sky? Well, if you went out tonight at 7:30, rather than watching the show and you were looking for it, there's the end of the Big Dipper. There's Mizar and Alcor. You come down to the first star of the handle and draw a line almost straight down to Arcturus. And it's pretty much, I'd say, a little bit more than halfway. You get in this area, you'll find it. So it's not really that difficult to find, even though we chased all over the sky last night for it. And again, there's that star on the handle of the Big Dipper. You come down, like I said, it's almost a straight line perfectly tonight. And she sits about almost halfway. You might even be able to pick up the snow globe cluster in the same field of view. What will you see? Well, this is a shot I took last night across the river. There's the light from the ferry landing, but there's that comet right there. So you can catch it. It's not the big, big long tail on it that I could get in a 4-second shot, but I got it in a 4-second shot. I think I was shooting 180 millimeters at that point, so that's not too awful bad. 10 by 50 binoculars, well, yeah, you can't even compare. You'll see it. It's a fuzzy dot. I don't know how much tail you'll see. I didn't take my binoculars last night to look at it, but I'm assuming it'd be the same as looking at it through my camera. Just I was using one eye instead of two, and it'd show up as a fuzzy dot. Compared to the full moon, maybe the size of a crater. It's not a big object, but hey, I'm not going to change Bido Bud just for that. So compared to the full moon, I'd say it's about the size of a crater. And here we go. The moment everybody's been waiting for. What do you get when someone kicks the legs on your astro imaging gear, Paul?
blurring the lines between reality.
Between reality and imagination. And that is binocular target of the week.
Awesome.
Oh, that's
Ta-da.
fun.
Yeah, I didn't get much of a view even through my refractor last night through the 72 millimeter. I thought I was hoping to be able to offer it live on Facebook like we did with NeoEyes, but not a chance.
What's the focal length on it?
Even the nucleus isn't bright. Like it's
What's the focal length of your
480.
Ooh, Should have saw something.
Should have saw something, I thought.
Well, you can see it. It was difficult to find. You
I
can
did
see
that.
it.
I had
I was
cap off.
Yeah, I was shooting 400 with my lens. You can see it, but
Yeah.
when you put your phone to the eyepiece, yeah, you couldn't see it.
Oh,
It just
well,
not bright enough to show up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Anyway, good luck, Paul, tonight. Later. And
We'll see
everybody
what
else
happens.
out there who's trying for it.
Maybe tomorrow night. I don't
Hmm.
know.
I'm seeing 4.5 now. TheSkyLive.com is calling at 4.5.
Oh,
yeah, is that the brightest observed, or is that the magnitude
That's
now?
the COBS, COBS. That's supposed to be the magnitude now, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. We're going to go from there to a Rosanna's fun fact. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah.
Are we ready for that?
Yeah. We are, except for my computer died, so I'm actually using my laptop tonight. And so my Rosanna little Rosanna fun fact.
Awesome.
Isn't that, but you just heard it.
You just heard it. There you go. And you
Hey,
can do it at the end too.
Rosanna's fun fact. Oh, hang on. And this is this week's. Now I just got to get my fun fact thingy up, so bear with me because this is very difficult to try to read on a computer that I'm not used to. Hold on. If I turn that off, what happens? Okay, there we go. All right, so Rosanna writes, whoops, maybe, hang on. Oh, come on. How do I get that off? There we go. Oh, come on. Okay, so Rosanna writes, hi, Paul. Remember Abbott and Costello? Oh, come on. Oh,
Did they say that?
no, it's just, I get the stuff that keeps popping up on my, I'm not used to using this. Anyway, remember Abbott and Costello who's on first? Today's fun fact hinges more on who's out there and what is its name. Ralph says it's just AI trying to mess with us. I love that picture. So let's roll around with it and see if I can figure out how to do it. Oh, here we go. Look at that. So does anyone remember the Drake equation? Let me see if I can figure out which way to go with this now. There we go. So in 1961, astronomer Frank Drake came up with an equation to estimate how many extraterrestrial civilizations might exist in our galaxy. Each variable is a crucial factor for the development of life. I love charts and diagrams, especially when they are interactive. So this lovely item, which came from informationsbeautiful.net, is perfect. So in its first pick, we are at today's optimistic view. Highlight it with the button on the left, which is today's optimistic view right there. Now, there we go. So if we click on the 8th triangle, which is a purple, an interesting little pop-up states, option addition allows for the chance of civilization to re-evolve after collapse. An intuitive addition, if you consider the billion-year lifespan of planets. So if you hit the calculator button, you get this. And ding, 756 communicating civilizations in the galaxy. How many in the universe? So let's see if I can roll this. Now I got to keep pushing the screen, so bear with me. So 756 communicating civilizations in the galaxy, but read the fine print. How about the universe? So of course, I clicked calculate, and what could go wrong? 113, 400,000 BN communicating civilizations in the universe. Remember that BN means billion. So there's a little change there, eh? So the math turns this into an insane amount of communicating civilizations. So although one can play with this interactive graph a lot, and I did, for this fun fact, I jumped to the last button, today's skeptical for comparison. So it says on the bottom, Drake assumed all Earth-like planets developed organic life using Earth as evidence through makes life seem inevitable. Discovering the life on Mars would dramatically resolve this uncertainty. So clicking on the triangle will pop up a further info, but I focus on the fourth triangle. Discovering. Let me try this again here. There we go. So discovering life on Mars would dramatically resolve this uncertainty. How convenient then is the recent news of the biomarkers found on Mars? An update from a YouTube video released just 3 days ago has more specific explanation of the biomarkers. Now, this is kind of what the video would look like, but I don't have the clip. So Roger Wines, he's a professor of planetary science at Purdue University. Whoops, there we go. At Purdue University, and leads the SuperCam instrument team on NASA's Mars Perseverance rover. In a video in which Wine states how this team was skeptical at first, but now are very convinced and excited. He explains that the potential signs of ancient life that were discovered on Mars and why this new find is so significant. Truly, a sample collected by the Perseverance rover from Jezero crater may contain signs of ancient microbial life. Now, let's see. So green reduction leopard spots, photo courtesy of NASA in the Perseverance rover. The rock sample in the picture contains small bleach white dots called reduction spots. Reduction spots have never been spotted before. Sorry, grown. On Earth, reduction spots are left behind by bacteria living on rocks. And these markings on Mars look to be very similar. Additionally, the reduction spots on Mars are rimmed by phosphate, another key element for life. Using an instrument called the Sherlock, the rover also discovered evidence of organic materials in the same area. All of these factors combined have led experts like Wines to believe that this is the strongest evidence to date for life on Mars. Very interesting. Okay. So on that seemed rather disappointing, but remember, we haven't checked in the universe. So here's the drum roll, please. Go ahead, guys. Come on, do your Griswold drum roll. Jeez. So 924,000 communicating civilizations in the universe. So this is at the far end of the skeptic range. Interesting, the universe is very large. Excuse me, it's very large space. Apologies again. So it's no wonder we haven't heard from, or perhaps more accurately, we have yet to recognize the messages from the other 924,000 civilizations. The answer may be in those FBR, fast radio bursts, that are as of yet unexplained. So I just had to check the civilization triangle, as some of us may be worried about our current civilization. And with all the cuts to NASA and science, just how long will we be able to continue to send signals into space? So the length of time is in space is 10,000 plus or minus. I'm not sure where that goes. Hold on. Good question. However, the caveat might be in overcoming the threats to our survival. The threat might be some sort of orange asteroid. Fortunately, we have a nuke for that. Civilization failure. That 6 weeks. Rosanna's fun time.
I like your version better. I think we should do that every week.
Yeah. So whatever side of the aisle you're on, we gotta look after our
Life out there, yeah. That's the whole thing. Are we ever going to know? Like,
well, that's it's just so interesting. This calculator, it's so cool. But even like what they're finding on Mars now with the little spots that are left, how it's not so dissimilar from from us, right? So,
The only question is, we got so much stuff on Mars now. How do we know we didn't put the bacteria there that caused that to begin with, right?
and there you go, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, interesting.
That's why we did with Cassini what we did.
Yeah.
You know, crash into
Yeah.
the Saturn, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I know the whole question is that if we find life again in our solar system somewhere, then at least we have 2 out of say 8 planets. That's a
Yeah.
25% chance in the solar system. You know,
Yeah.
spread that out over, and that's that's the big reason why, right? But
Yeah.
who knows? We might find out someday. Maybe that's that Comet 3I Atlas coming through. Just ask people; they'll tell you. It's an alien spacecraft.
Yep.
Okay, let's go from there then to some photos. How about with that?
All right.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna just transition our scene one more time. I work with the photos out here and get them opened up, and get them up on a particular screen I want to see. I see probably right there. Let's go over here now. You guys seen that? Oh, I'm not
No.
sharing. Oh, no, I'm not sharing. Hang on. That's right.
No.
Share first. Let's do it this way.
There you go.
Here. Okay.
There we are.
I'll let my audience see it here too. So go back to here. So I think that's up. Yep.
Yep.
Very nice guy.
Okay. Let me see that. The audience is getting kind of paused on Facebook for some reason.
It's what?
Looks like it's paused on Facebook.
Oh,
Let's go.
Oh, it's going? Okay. No, just my screen. Okay. I'll stop complaining. This one came from Emma McPhee. This is actually from last week. I didn't get a chance to put it in there. She calls it a horizontal rainbow in Moncton.
oh,
Kind of a nice sunset. I believe it's sunset.
Beautiful sunset.
Nice shot though. Thanks, Emma.
Yeah. nice lately.
Gonna go from there to Dan Garrett's capture here. Just go get my photos right here. It's Dan Garrett's capture, I believe. Yes, it is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the comet the other night. He said captured Comet Lemon on my Seastar S50. I had to catch it quick. He said with it only 14 degrees in altitude and setting fast. So good job.
Got it.
Yeah. Yep. You
That's
can
what
see the snowball. You can see a bit of the tail.
Little undertail. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Nicely done. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Going to go over to Lisa Fanning's capture here. This is a nice one. Lisa says, no luck with this comet for us this long weekend away. She said, due to various reasons, but Venus and the Moon over the Pennsylvania farmscape are a wonderful consolation prize. It sure is, Lisa. Look at that. That's up
Beautiful.
this morning, right?
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I forgot to announce that was going to be up. Anyway, okay, I'm going to go from there, from Lisa's to Kathy Adams' capture here of the Pleiades.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Nice
Nice.
detail.
Wow.
Nice.
Lots and lots of detail there. That's a beautiful cluster. Mike and I were pointing that out last night. Just looking up, saying, oh, there it is. It's up. And it's up in the early evening now, so we know winter's right behind it, because then Orion's
Yeah, it was
right
up
behind
quite high.
it. It was too, yeah. So Orion was up early. Ugh, oh well.
She be coming.
Should be coming,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
It is a season for astrophotography for sure, for a lot of nice wintertime objects.
Give you any details?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to go from there to Mark Fitkin's capture of the Cygnus loop here.
Oh, look, nice.
You see
Wow.
complete mosaic in 4K, imaged locally in Bronte with the Seastar S30.
Look at the stars in there.
Yeah, 81 minutes.
It's right in the Milky Way, right?
Yeah, you go on about the Drake equation. Just the stars in that one picture in our own galaxy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about, we were talking earlier about having a really wide view telescope. Now he's done a mosaic here, but still, depending on how wide the scope is, I don't know how many photos he took to get the mosaic, but you know, that's a nice wide field of view, and you can't get that in the larger scopes.
No.
And other times we miss so much of this, you know, this swath of sky, right?
Right.
I get 98% in my 61 millimeter.
Yes,
There you go. Yeah.
Nicely done, Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
very,
well done.
very
Let me
nice.
jump over here to Carol Meehan's picture. Carol captured this from the comet. She said,
Yeah.
I went out to Ganong Nature Park in St. Stephen to see the comet. This is about the best I could get. A stack of 3 photos, 8 seconds each, f4, ISO 2500, taken with a Canon 80D and a 200 millimeter lens at 100 millimeter.
Yeah. So if you look
Nice.
there, Mike, you mentioned before about the stray light and stuff.
Yeah.
What's coming up from the bottom?
There.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Because I had a bunch of that too. Now I don't know. It doesn't look like with all those stars she was shooting through clouds, but I got a bunch of that stuff too. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Yeah, I had so many satellites going through photos, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. You should bring that one up, Mike. The satellite, that shot with all the satellites in it. It was pretty discouraging.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I posted it, I think we said 7, and I think I counted 14 actually when I zoomed in on everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
that was a 4-second shot. Got 14 satellites.
yeah.
Thanks, Carol. This one comes from Margie Jenkins. She said, I got it. I shot a
Yeah.
Comet Lemon, she said, from Plaster Rock. So
Right on.
the sea stars are doing well because they're stacking it, right? So
Look,
Yeah.
the light through there too.
yeah, there you go. A couple of satellites through there. So
Yeah.
I mean, anything that's stacking images are getting a better
Oh, for
better
sure.
quality. Yeah. Thanks for that, Margie. Or Margie, I'm not sure which it is, but this is from CJ Bernard.
Wow.
He added that to the bottom of my page, and it didn't give me the details on it, but I thought, well, it's quite a shot.
Well, nice shot.
Gorgeous.
Mm.
Wow.
So did she say it was a sunrise or sunset?
Didn't get. I tried to get an answer out of it, and didn't get any answer before I reply. So
Either way,
yeah,
it's still
either way, still a nice shot.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Man,
that. I'm gonna go to Joseph Ingalls. I think. No, I'm sorry. No, it isn't Joseph Ingalls. Where is
Terrio.
that? This is Francois Terrio. That's right. He comes up soon.
Beautiful.
Pac-Man Nebula. Yeah. He said it's been a challenging month so far between cloudy skies and equipment and software failures. So I was able to capture NGC 281, about 30 hours of data, to get about 10 hours of useful images.
That's incredible.
Crazy.
Oh, Mark Fitkin just chimed in. He said his was 81 subs at 60 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Thanks, Mark. And this is the HOO, he said, Francois Terrio.
Isn't that nice, eh?
Detail's incredible.
Yeah. If you look lower than that, Chris, go to the, yeah, right there. All those other dust lanes and
Yeah.
nebulosity just popping everywhere, eh? Isn't that beautiful? Look at the detail in there.
He does some
Wow.
amazing work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Francois.
Very nice.
I got another one, I think, from him here as well, from the Soul Nebula here.
Oh, yeah. That's a beautiful target.
It kind of looks more like a little teddy bear.
It kind of does, doesn't
I
it?
guess, yeah.
4 little legs and a tail.
No, it does.
Nice shot though.
Yeah. A large emission nebula in the constellation of Cassiopeia. It is also known as the Soul Nebula in proximity to the Heart Nebula, as in Heart and Soul. Its common designation is IC 1848. Represents only the body of the nebula. A more inclusive catalog entry is SH2199. Also goes under the designation of Westerhout 5. Telescope was a Stellar View SV60 EDS, focal length of 330 millimeter.
Yeah.
Camera was a ZWO ASI 1600 millimeter Pro. Exposures total of 4.5 hours.
Yes, sir.
So can you zoom in on that?
Sure.
Well done, man. You did some amazing shots.
So when you get in that tight onto a target, especially when you're in the middle of processing all of this data, the stuff you find because you're trying to tease out every little fine detail you can, and the stuff that you really start to realize what's there. Because when you look at these photos from just a viewer perspective, you kind of fly through them. But when you're actually processing them, you're looking at every crook and corner of that image, trying to get it just right. So the stuff you can learn by imaging, especially something with this detail, it's just incredible.
Fantastic, Francois.
Nice work.
Nice work. Now, I gotta be sure I got, before we go, I gotta make sure I bring up the other one because I thought I had it here.
Yeah, I like that shot.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
There's Brad Perry's, yeah. Brad Perry says, hi Chris, just submitting a Milky Way photo I got over the Thanksgiving weekend while visiting in Prince Edward Island. This was taken at Sea Cow Head Lighthouse in the hour between dark and moonrise. The sky is a stack of 8 2-minute tracked exposures at f2 ISO 500. The lighthouse and ground are a single untracked exposure with the same settings.
Yes, sir. Nicely done.
Wow.
There's some fantastic stuff. You know, I don't know. Oh yeah, this is this one.
That's okay.
So I got this from Audrey. So she says, I thought you might enjoy this shot of our cat who was very engaged in their Sunday night show. They watch the show every week. So I'll make sure I do this a little bit more. Play around with the mouse. So I can,
Yeah, give it a mouse to play
Yeah.
with.
It must be one of those new touch screens.
yeah. I'm gonna pause here for a second, guys. You don't mind?
No pun intended.
Yeah. No. Let's do this for a second. I've got to find that other photo because I can't not show it. Oh, hang on.
Oh, that's hilarious. While you're doing that,
Yeah, go
Francois
ahead.
wrote, Francois Terry says, I'm actually processing the bird figure in tonight as the detail of a solar nebula. So there's a portion of it that he's actually working on within that image he took. So it'd be nice to see that result.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I can bring it up. I apologize, Joseph. I'm gonna to your granddaughter Olivia, who took a photo. I didn't capture it from the. Looks like I didn't get it from the messages. I will bring it up next week for sure. It'll be on the program next week. So I can't bring it up while I'm live on Facebook.
Close your menu because that's all I see is your menu on Facebook.
Hmm?
I'm looking at.
Oh, we do. Yeah, sorry. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't be doing that, should I? No, I should be going over here. Here we are. Yeah, let's go back to that. Hang on. Mixing up a little bit here. I was looking for that picture, that's why. Okay, hang on.
On the boardwalk.
Here you go, here we go.
Another, while you're doing that, Chris, another feature that's on that ASI Air is you can actually live stack with it too.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, if you send your images into astronomybythebay@gmail.com, as long as I get them early enough, I will try to get them up on our next broadcast. And I apologize to Joseph Ingles' granddaughter, but I will bring it up next week for sure.
Right on.
All right,
Yeah.
and let's go from there to a little bit about what's happening this week. Tomorrow morning, 2 shadows on Jupiter. If you get a clear sky. 2 of Jupiter's moons, Io and Europa, cast their shadows on the great planet early Monday morning. Both shadows will be visible around 4 a.m. Atlantic time. So, kind of odd to see 2 shadows on there, or rare, but nice. Also, Tuesday morning, of course, we have the peak of the Orion meteor shower. That's 21st. The Orionids will peak early morning. The peak is only about 10 to 20 meters per hour, but a new moon will help minimize light pollution because there is a new moon on that date as well. And those are supposed to be the 2 dates that on the 20th and the 21st when Comet Swan and Comet Lemon are both at their closest approach to Earth. So they're supposed to be at their brightest. So we have a new moon, 2 comets at their brightest, and the Orion meteor shower all happening. And Comet Lemon, if you're out Tuesday evening looking for it, there's about where it should be. Mike pointed it out around here, I guess, tonight.
Yep.
Should be in around Booties there tomorrow night.
So it's moving.
Tuesday night. It is moving fast, yeah. And here's another view of it. So we're up around here, aren't we now? 19th, yeah. So 20th, 21st, Tuesday night there. That's when it's at its closest approach. Then a few more nights on the other side of Booties. I think that might be it. Is it? No. Okay, a couple of more slides here. Just our calendar, sjastronomy.ca and rascanb.ca. You can find our October, November calendar there. This is the newest one for 6 weeks. And also Lisa's Lookup, Astronomy More. Lisa gives us this chart every month as well. Lisa has the events listed in the first column, the dates of the events, the peak time on Eastern time, seeing tools, naked eye, binoculars, or a telescope. And you can find Lisa at Ruby Moonbeams on Instagram, Mastodon, Facebook, Threads, and on Blue Sky. me stop sharing. Bring us back to where we are. Well. I feel bad about that picture, but I know I'll get it back again. Okay, I guess what's that?
All right.
57. Well, then I guess in closing tonight, thank you all for joining us this evening. Special thanks as well goes out to Rosanna for her continued contributions to the program. Oh, hang on a second. I'm still sharing that screen. What am I doing? Here we are. Goodness gracious. There. Yike. I don't like this OBS.
Way too bright.
It did it all for me by itself before, but yeah.
Oh, there it goes. The lag on Facebook.
Lag on Facebook. Okay.
You're back.
All right, I'm back. Good. So in closing tonight, as I mentioned, thanks for being with us tonight. Special thanks goes out to Rosanna. Special thanks to all of you for sharing our program tonight. Really do appreciate it. Remember, we do love getting your photos, so send them in to astronomybythebay@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to put them up in the next broadcast. And please let your friends and family know that we are here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook to entertain you on astronomy and the wonders of the night sky. So for now then, from Mike, Paul, Rosanna, and I, wish you all a safe week and happy week, and wishing you clear skies, hopefully, for your comet views. As we'd like to say, guys, keep your scopes pointed up.
Yep.
And I need a minute to go back to my other screen. Look at this now. Wow. I'm still here. Isn't it great?
This is a show that never ends.
It never ends, yeah. Okay, we'll try doing it this way. Ready? We'll say goodnight. Good night.
All right.